Hey guys, Sundown here. It's going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai 304, The Executioner's Request. Now, what did we learn this chapter? So, the Demon King was aware of Zeldris' affection for Gelda, as is shown in the kind of conversation they have right at the beginning of this chapter, and quite possibly chose Zeldris to deal with the Vampire Rebellion as a result of his love for Gelda. And I'm not gonna lie, the Demon King would really struggle to be more of a dick than he is right now. I mean, like, what a freaking psycho. He chose his son to kill, actually to slaughter the people of his the people of his lover. Essentially, that's exactly what he did. So yeah, dick move. I mean, like, you can't really get much worse than that. I don't know how to expand on that. Anyway, the Demon King tells us he was aware of Zeldris sealing away the vampires, as well as the fact that Zeldris wanted the throne in order to create an underworld that had peace and harmony. And he learnt all of this from the fact that Zeldris actually had a commandment. He had a part of the Demon King's power, which relayed all of this information to the Demon King. Now, I'm not sure if it was ever mentioned that the underworld was like a place of danger and discord to the demons that lived there. So like this peace and harmony thing within the underworld, unless because I think there was a translation difference between manga stream and I think the official version, which said Zeldris wanted, the manga stream version was like Zeldris wanted peace and harmony within the underworld, and the other version was like he just wanted a peaceful world or something like that, a peaceful environment, something like that. So it might have been something. So the mainstream one seems more demon world, underworld related, and the other translation seemed more universal kind of related. Now I'm not sure, like I said, if it's one way or the other, but either way, I think it really fits. Well, one way in particular, the underworld fits with Zeldris' character, and I just wish there was previous mention of this that would have served to flesh out Zeldris more. What else did we get? The Demon King unleashes a new attack, the Hermit of Moments, which proceeds to battle with Zeldris. It looks pretty cool, but we'll get back to that. Now, we come to the best part of the chapter. Sarcastically, he said. Now, Meliodas takes a page out of King's book and riddles the Demon King full of holes with condensed balls of darkness, literally condensed balls of darkness. And I wasn't really okay with the Demon King being bodied again, but we've seen this for the last couple chapters, so it's not anything new. I can't really complain more about that. You know my opinion on that. My issue came when Meliodas said he could feel power welling within him because his friends were around him. Even at this point, I wasn't too disappointed. I wasn't too infuriated, because having seen that his friends and Elizabeth are they're all A-OK, he's bound to be feeling confident and full of power. I mean, it happens in the real world too. Once you realize that something is okay, everything's going well, your injury is not as bad as it is, or your injury is actually not an injury, it's just like a little niggle, and you can fully recover. You come back, you feel awesome, you feel powerful, and I can accept that mentally and emotionally, Meliodas is he's just brimming with power, and I can accept that. But I get it was just getting dangerously close to FT, to fairy tale cringiness at this point. So it was getting dangerously close, and then we get closer. So as Meliodas asks his friends to go help Ban whilst making Swiss cheese out of the Demon King's sword and body, Nakaba decides to take off his mask and reveal that it was Hiromashima, all along riding Taizai. So I'm all for friendship and emotional support and the strength found through that, but the parting messages everyone gave this chapter to Meliodas were both unnecessary and incredibly cringy. Let me explain the unnecessary part. Unnecessary because he's rinsing the Demon King right now. There is basically no hope for the Demon King. They've been all sat down with popcorn watching Meliodas kick the shit out of his dad, and they know he's coming back to the real world. There's pretty much no chance, unless the Demon King uses Mirror Force or some shit, that there's no possibility the Demon King will win at this point. So they know he's coming back. They don't need to do this. We hope to see you soon. Oh my god, you're so strong. If you give up one more time on sis or some shit like that. Come on, Merlin. I'll make good of that promise I made to you sometime. We'll get to that as well. But yeah, like I said, I won't go through exactly that's my issue with the unnecessary, like how unnecessary these were, but the cringiness was insane. And like, I don't want to go through exactly what was said because I really don't want to, but I'll address a couple of the points, and I think maybe, yeah, a couple of the points. So the first point, what the frick promise is Merlin talking about? When did they make this promise? Is it a recent thing or an older conversation they had thousands of years ago? Why has it been mentioned now? Will it add anything to the story? Probably not, but why not? I mean, like, why has this random promise been introduced now? What was the purpose? What was her point in making mention of that? What was the point in making mention of it at all within the story? Because Meliodas most likely won't lose, so will we ever find out what the promise was? When did this promise even... so many questions about that damn promise that actually has nothing to do with anything. Like, what was even said, bro? I can't even remember. She said something like, I'll make good of that promise if you give up on Sisyphus again. What's she gonna do? Take his power again? He'll clap her. Bruh, nah. Okay, so like, that promise was like... It was just... I'm being really nitpicky now because there's little things that are just annoying me, but that I didn't feel like Merlin needed to coin in on anything or like key in on anything, and she drops like, oh, we made a promise about this and this sometime, and if you do this I'll act on it, and I'm just like, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. Anyway, Diane's message was just like, okay, cool, thanks, I suppose. She's there saying that Meliodas, you're the strongest of the sins, and he's there like, yeah, I pretty much know, and I'm just there like, yeah, we pretty much know. And then you look at Meliodas' face after that, and you realize that Meliodas is chilling, listening to these messages while in the greatest fight in his life, and he's there responding, and he's just there chilling, kicking the shit out of the Demon King. He's listening to his friends talking to him, and he's like, yeah, we'll definitely drink when we get back. And he turns around and slaps his dad across the face. I'm just like, bro, this is pure bullshit. Let me say it one more time. If the people at the back didn't hear, this is the Demon King. He should not be getting his ass whoopeth like he is. We go back. The only time Meliodas actually looks serious is when he drops the Demon King in this chapter, right as Elizabeth delivers her message, which was actually the least cringiest message, and actually had zero cringe in that message. I think she just says, we'll be waiting for you on the other side, and I'm like, that's the only message that freaking makes sense. Escanor's message was a bit like, oh shit, like, where's this going? And then Merlin drops her promise shit, and I was like, the fuck, where'd that come from, man? King's message and Diane. I was I really couldn't care less for this shit. I don't know how the rest of you feel. It was turd. That's about it. So we go back to Zeldris, who struggles against this hermit of moments as he thinks on Meliodas. Now, I mentioned last chapter, if Zeldris gets killed, I'll be pissed, because the guy needs a W. We'll get back to that. So he still can't forgive Meliodas for betraying the Demon Clan, but he highly respects, and I feel is also slightly jealous of the fact that Meliodas turned the entire world in. Well, he's not really, well, jealous would be kind of the word, but he's aware that Meliodas had the courage to turn the entire world into his enemy just to be with the woman he loved and to be with the people he cared for. And it's something which he feels he lacked the conviction to do, and I kind of feel like he wishes he had the conviction to do, and he followed in his brother's footsteps and did. Now, with this on his mind, Zeldris uses Ominous Nebula and proceeds to absolutely end the Hermit of Moments while Ban gets his ass beat by the Demon King. Zeldris then looks down, and he's like, okay, now I'm going to focus on the Demon King. But it turns out, I thought Zeldris had lowered his guard, but I don't really think it was that. I think the Demon King had just finished up with Ban quicker than Zeldris had anticipated. So when he looked down, he was like, yeah, I'm going to go beat the shit out of the Demon King now. The Demon King had already attacked by that point, and he fires off some sort of like energy beam which slices through Zeldris from shoulder to hip. And as Zeldris falls, it's a really grievous wound. As Zeldris falls, Ban kicks the Demon King in the face, and Zeldris says it's all up to his older brother now. And we see Meliodas continuing to massacre the Demon King, but the weird part to me was the end quote of the chapter, which said, thanks to Zeldris putting his life on the line, the walls have all come down. And I was just like, what walls? Like, what freaking... Am I the only one who's confused by this? Because I was very, very, very confused. I was like, nani? Like, which walls have come down? Like, Zeldris, to be fair, in this, has done nothing in this one instance against the Demon King at this point, when he destroys the Sage of Sighing, or the Sighing Sage. He's done nothing beyond that that's kind of helped him. The greatest thing that Zeldris has done as of now, as of this like last fight as well, is that he prevented Mael and the Sins from getting absolutely destroyed by the Sighing Sage. Other than that, he just got his ass beat again. But I'm not sure what this is alluding to. Like, the walls have all come down, bruh. Like, they're in the same situation they were before, only they're not about to die because of the Sighing Sage. Now it's down to Meliodas, and Ban is still back fighting the Demon King, who, by the way, is getting ended by Meliodas, but is still kicking the shit out of Ban in the real world. Inconsistent as fuck. I mean, like, come on. And I think people were, a couple of you, is Yin Yang and another, was it Mike Kage? Both of you were like, that Sundown would be pissed at the fact that Zeldris had been essentially KO'd. But I'm not really too fussed about that, because I don't think Zeldris is dead. There would have been a much clearer message at the end of the chapter if Zeldris had been killed. So I'm fine with Zeldris having been injured again. I mean, like, let's think about it really. Zeldris should be running on empty right about now. If he falls now, which he has, he'll just be there healing up. His darkness will just be healing him up, and he'll come back eventually. But I don't think the Demon King has killed him, unless the Demon King next chapter walks up to him and stabs him in every single heart he's got, in which case that would be fuckeries, and I'd be pissed off about that. So, Zeldris getting beaten? Not really. I'm not really fussed by that. A grievous injury like this, nothing to a demon. It should be good. Now we just have to wait for Meliodas to beat the crap out of the Demon King, which he's able to do whenever he wants. It's just about how much info we can get out of the Demon King first, which I assume, like, we're going to get next chapter, like Meliodas being like, okay, you're about to die now, anything you want to say, and he's going to say, the Supreme Deity is your mom, and he's going to be like, nani? So it's going to be one of those ones. We'll see how it goes. Let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. Definitely check out Grieva's reviews, Grimm's reviews, Naya's reviews. Check out all of them. Let me know what you think. Universally culminate all the different opinions, and let me see what the best opinion is, or the one that's most suited to you. Pop it down in the comments. I'll respond. All that good stuff. And hopefully I should release my One Piece review either later today, most likely tomorrow, and that should be alongside my Hero review. So I'll see you guys in a bit.